Hello everyone. It is Wednesday. Oh, I'm sorry. Tuesday evening. Wow. I am like a day ahead. Yes, tonight is 10 for 10 for 10 Tuesday, but it's not going to happen. I am exhausted. I'll do it tomorrow. I'm trying to finish this book up. So, and I have an appointment tomorrow, so I had to modify my work shift. So I'm actually starting at 4 o'clock in the morning, and that's the reason why I'm tired. I have been getting up at like 3:30, 4 o'clock, so I've been starting work like at 4:30. So by the time it gets this part of the day, I am exhausted because I have been up for a very long time. So I'm going to read a couple of chapters, and then I'm going to bed. So hopefully I don't mess up too much tonight. So I hope you all are enjoying the readings. Hold on. I find I kind of like reading. Maybe I should have did this for a living, reading books on tape or something. I don't know. But I did want to preface this with, yes, there's a lot of things out there now trying to say that the book is not truthful. But you've listened to me read it, so you tell me, who else would know some of all this information if it wasn't her? And how can you really write about how somebody feels? I guess you can, because writers do that. But this guy is a known true crime writer. He has books out. He's known in the true crime community. He's known out on the West Coast. So I don't think that he would mess up his reputation by putting out a book that he thought was false. So yeah, I think people are just trying to yet again close her mouth, and by saying that the book is not truthful, then nobody will read it, so hence we won't really know what's going on. I'm not understanding all this controversy around Mr. Combs, and I use that Mr. loosely. I've heard things from the fact that, why are you bringing a black man down? Well, the black man committed crimes, okay? He's no better than Weinstein, Epstein, R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, and a host of all the other ones who have yet to be caught. If you do the crime, then you got to do the time. And it has nothing to do with his race. And then to blame the women and the men who he did things to, I don't know, have you all heard this last lawsuit that just came out? Oh my God, it is so graphic. If you hear somebody read what's in the lawsuit, matter of fact, if you're interested, go to a channel called Make It Make Sense. I really like this guy. He kind of reminds me of what my nephew is going to look like as he ages. But I don't always like all his opinions, but I like the way he does his platform. But he did read what was in this last lawsuit, and it was, oh my gosh, horrific. And if you've seen Gloria Aldridge, which I used to like her back in the day, but I'm beginning to think that she's like an ambulance chaser when it comes to women issues and stuff. And she's getting quite old there at her little press conference, which I didn't understand why you would take a victim, put them in front of the cameras, and you could tell that the woman was uneasy. She just looked distraught with having to finally come and tell her truth, and then now you're in front of all these cameras and you're telling me I can't speak. It was just crazy. So yeah, go check out Make It Make Sense, and you can hear what's in the new lawsuit. And I tell you, people are saying he shouldn't be called a monster, but he is. And even if he was created from his environment, from childhood on up, he's still a monster, and he still knows right from wrong. So, okay, so last we stopped at chapter 11. We are in chapter 12 now, A Mama's Love. The trouble that has ensued behind the death of Biggie shook the East Coast. It rocked me as well. Sean could have stopped it. He was complicit in it. He was a contributor. He knew it was going to happen and didn't stop it. This was his friend. No, they were not nearly as close as Sean would have the public believe, but still. As far as Sean was concerned, we were great. To the public, we were just having the off and on relationship of a normal couple, and I probably just seemed like a money-hungry hoe. But the truth is, I just got used to not having a choice. Today I recognized it for what it was, Stockholm Syndrome. I was at his beck and call and had become comfortable with it. Quincy had everything he could ever want, with the exception, of course, of a normal parental figure. That is why this chapter is so powerful for me. A mother's love is so real. One night, I was out with my boyfriend. Yes, we were on again, and we were joined for dinner by none other than Miss Wallace. Sean looked over as security allowed Miss Wallace to approach the table and sit. Miss Wallace spoke with a smile. "Hello, Sean. Hi, Kim." I smiled the best I could. What a situation. For all intents and purposes, she is sitting with her son's killer. I hope my voice didn't betray my feelings as I said, "Hi, Miss Wallace." Sean smiled also as he said, "Hello, Miss Wallace. What can I do for you?" When I got your call, it sounded urgent. He was able to appear as if he was smiling warmly. This was the creepiest situation of my entire life. She looked at Sean with pleading eyes. "I know this isn't your problem, but things have gotten kind of hard. I was hoping that you would send some of that money Chris made with you this way." Sean shook his head. "That's not something that I can do. There are attorneys and accountants. Can I maybe help you out with a little something to get you past the hump?" Sean reached into his pocket to dig for his wallet. "I haven't even seen how much Chris left. It's going on 2 years. Just how long is this going to take?" Sean sighed as he replied, "These things are difficult, Mrs. Wallace. I don't know. The attorneys don't make this easy." Miss Wallace pushed further. "I don't understand what's so difficult. He worked for you. He made his money. Where is it?" Sean shook his head as if saddened by what he was saying as he continued. "It's not like I can just give you his money. You're entitled to certain amounts, and they are just trying to figure out what that amount is. I don't mean to sound cruel, but it wouldn't be fair to me to just give you tons of money. You got rich off of my son, and now you're keeping all of his money?" Sean kept his cool as he replied, "I'm afraid business isn't that cut and dry, Miss Wallace. I pay for publishing, publicity. I mean, it's all actuality if I'm going to be straightforward, Miss Wallace. Chris probably owed me money. I won't know until it's all worked out." The anger in Miss Wallace's voice barely overshadowed the pain, or perhaps it magnified it as she uttered the only words she could muster. "You bastard." Sean didn't flinch. He just said, "Look at the contract. I am honestly trying to get him as much as possible out of it, but I have investors. I can't just take money that doesn't belong to him and start giving it away." Miss Wallace exploded in response. "You know good and well Chris didn't owe you a damn thing." Sean stared her straight in the eye, unwaveringly, and said, "He would have started making a profit after a few years. His money, until his album sales paid for his studio time, music videos, publishing, and marketing, would have come from doing shows. I'm sorry he isn't here to make that money. I miss him." Her response was deadpan. "Did you kill my son?" Momentarily, Sean was stunned into silence. She asked him again, her voice quivering. Did you?" He started. "Miss Wallace." She would not be redirected. "Answer the question." I was not used to seeing Sean on the defensive. "No, of course not." She looked at him with spite, the anger in her voice enough to send shivers up my spine as she replied with the menace only a mother can. "I don't believe you, Sean." Sean looked at her with a sadness that I knew in my soul to be fake. Although looking at him without context, anyone would believe him as he replied, "I'm sorry to hear that." Today I know he was able to muster that false sincerity because he's a psychopath. Back then I thought it was compassion. With no more words, Miss Wallace stood up and left. Sean watched her exit with disbelief. Not knowing what to do, I placed my order. Dinner that night was long and silent. I feared for Miss Wallace's life. Sean is most dangerous when he feels threatened. No, she could not physically threaten him, but this threat was very real. If she goes public with her accusations, Sean's image would be damaged. I have felt for myself the extents he will go through in order to protect that image. Chapter 13. Have some faith. The fact of the matter is, Sean was a complete control freak. He was absolutely the worst. But of all the things he did for control, this might have been the one most despicable one. We were in the bad boy office one evening, sitting in the lounge area enjoying a meal. Sean was smoking one of those big cigars he likes when Faith entered and sat down with us. She seemed relaxed as she said, "Hey guys." I smiled. I never had any bad vibe from the marvelous Faith Evans. We never talked about the wild time the three of us shared at one of Sean's parties. I gave her a hug. "Hey girl, what's up?" Sean smiled and asked, "Hey, what brings you out?" She addressed Sean saying, "Look, when you asked me to help hook up with Chris, I understood. You needed to control him. I felt honored that you would choose me to monitor one of your most valuable assets. Chris is sweet." Sean laughed and said, "Honestly, I knew you would be good. Make the big man feel love." "I don't feel good about all of this, Sean." Sean got that look in his eye he gets before he blows his top. Faith saw it also. She treaded carefully. "Sean, you know I'm as loyal as they come." Sean leaned forward, unintentionally threatening, and said in a low tone, "Yeah?" "But Sean, Chris and I had a child together." Sean leaned back. He let out a deep breath. "I'm going to take care of you. You're not like Chris. You're loyal." Faith had a tear in her eye as she responded, "He didn't have to die. This is getting very touchy." Did she know? Did she suspect? Was this her trying to find out if Sean intentionally killed Biggie? I wanted to ask, but of course there was no way of doing that. "This is so crazy." Sean sighed and replied, "He didn't. Don't get me wrong, I miss him. But he was leaving me anyway. No one cares about my pain." Classic narcissistic Sean. It's all about him. I was sickened for a moment, but his next sentence made me feel for him anyway. I wanted to share all of this with him. He was my man. Faith couldn't hide the anger that flared in her eyes, but she knew who she was talking to. She was careful as she spoke. "Sean, you have your friends you share things with." Sean sat forward again, this time with malicious intent as he queried, "What the fuck is that supposed to mean?" "Chris had no one, only you." Sean lost it. "That fat fuck? And that other piece of shit I had you fuck?" I interjected while in shock. "You had her fuck Pac?" Sean glared at me as he answered, "Yes, fucking Pac. Those Those MFs were going to try to start their own label and compete with me. Me! After all I did for that fat fuck. Nah. I wasn't using resources to protect that MF. No fucking way." As Faith started to cry, Sean looked at her and softened slightly. He spoke a little calmer. "Look, I didn't hate him. I was hurt. But I didn't hate him. I'll make sure you and CJ are taken care of." Without words, Faith got up to leave. As she turned, Sean spoke softly. "Faith." She ignored him. He called to her again. "Faith." She exited quickly. Sean just looked at me and said, "Damn." I really didn't know what to say. Sean just told Faith that he wouldn't protect her husband because he was going to leave. Bad boys. For a business perspective, I didn't disagree with Sean there. If you're leaving and creating competition for him, why would he spend resources on you? So I hugged Sean, but I also knew he didn't have to send Chris to California. I wondered if he realized that he sentenced him to death. He hugged me back with tears in his eyes as he asked, "How the fuck am I the bad guy, huh? I fucking do nothing but bust my ass to make everyone live comfortably, and I'm supposed to just let niggas walk all over me." As I held him in a comforting embrace, I replied, "No, baby." He took me right there on the couch. Like I said, Stockholm Syndrome. Chapter 14. Outshine. This particular evening, I was at Sean's house, and Quincy was staying with a friend. It was some alone time for Sean and I, until the doorbell rang, and Sean got up to answer it. I heard a woman yelling and quickly realized that it was Jennifer Lopez, or better known to the world as J-Lo. "Sean, what the fuck?" She blasted. Sean responded calmly, "Relax, baby. Why the hell did you have to start shooting? Isn't that what we have bodyguards for? Normally when these kind of situations arise, I remain quiet and just listen. I play my position, you could say, but I wasn't paying attention to the news for the last day or so, and even though it would be the only thing anyone would talk to me about for months, no one has spoken to me about it yet. So I entered the foyer asking, 'What's going on?' Jennifer exploded at me. 'What's going on? What's going on? This nigga shot up the damn club.' My jaw dropped. Looking back and forth between the two, Sean spoke soothingly. 'Jen, you gotta calm down.' Jennifer was having none of it. She continued, 'Calm down? Calm down? You shot a bunch of innocent people, Sean.' Sean placed his hand on her forehead. It's a bonding technique. He was shrewd in handling her. He does this to me too. Even if you know what's happening, it works. It's an intimate contact without being personal. He was aiming to disarm her. This did not seem to immediately sway Jennifer as she continued. 'Why in the hell do you think Biggie's replacement would take the fall for you?' 'Biggie's replacement? Wait, could she be talking about?' I had to know. 'Are you talking about Shine?' Jennifer didn't even look at me as she responded. 'Yes, fucking Shine.' Sean continued with a calm and even voice. 'Relax. The situation is under control.' Jennifer was not calming down. She went on. 'They contacted my attorney for my statement, and there are a lot of witnesses, Sean. There is no way you're going to get away with this.' Sean's arrogance can be immeasurable at times. He laughed and he asked, 'You doubted me?' I couldn't believe it. I had to know. 'Sean, what could you offer him that would make him do a bid for you? Like, what the fuck?' Jennifer also remarked, 'And what if he falters halfway through his sentence and starts talking?' Sean responded as calmly as ever, 'He won't do that. People in jail don't cross connected people on the outside.' Jennifer looked defeated. So you'll kill him too. How much does she know? Look, I'm not going to threaten anyone. Shine is smart and loyal. He knows how it works, and when he gets out, he'll be well taken care of.' Jennifer spoke defiantly. 'Sean, they want to question me. I am not perjuring myself. I am not going to jail over this.' Sean seemed so in control. I admired him for it at this point, but my spirit was broken. I felt bad for Jennifer. She catches one bad break after another, and this was really a bad break. Sean spoke with confidence. 'Relax. Come in and have a drink. Have your lawyers call mine. You'll never see the witness stand. I promise.' Jennifer wasn't so sure. She asked him How can you possibly know that? Sean smiled as he replied, between Shine's confession and the witnesses that gave their accounts, the cops won't need much else. The statement from your lawyer will be fine. Jennifer's next concern popped up. She explained, my attorney, Sean, he's good, but he won't do this. Beaming with confidence, the way only a man with his net worth can, Sean responded, sure he will. Jennifer shook her head defiantly as she responded, Sean, you don't know him. Sean's unbreakable confidence was ruling the day. Jennifer was giving in as he told her with a smile, I got this. Sean, are you sure? Sean gave a wink. My attorneys handle situations. Give him my number too. Jennifer seemed leery as she asked, you're not going to threaten my attorney? Sean laughed as he replied, no, of course not. Money talks, baby. He turned to me and said, take her inside and pour her a drink. I had questions of my own. But you were going to make Shine the label's go-to man? What are you going to do now? Sean looked disappointed as he responded. He had the voice, but his flow, he sighed, well, artists with his talent are a dime a dozen. Looking at Jen, he continued, he's not a once-in-a-lifetime find like Jennifer Lopez. Now he's throwing on the charm. Despite the situation, she blushed slightly. Sean continued, let's grab that drink. Let me handle this attorney situation. Relax. Don't worry. We left the foyer and went to have a seat in the living room. He tried to make a threesome happen that night. It didn't work out. Not that day. Okay. Not that day. Alright, I'll read 15 since it's like one page. Chapter 15, Queen Bitch. Kimora Simmons and I went out to have drinks. She was looking at me seductively and I was turned on. We were going to go back to my place afterwards, but suddenly after a sip of my drink, I felt like I had to vomit. I excused myself and barely made it to the ladies' room. When I came back, Kimora asked, you feeling okay? I'm fine. I have been under the weather the last couple of days. I think I'll head home. She said, your breasts are looking kind of plump there, girl. Embarrassed, I whispered, not in public. She replied simply, are you pregnant? I was taken completely aback. Why the hell would you say that? She let it sit there for a minute. I bet in her head she was like, wait for it. Then it hit me. Shit. She gave me a minute before continuing. So what you're gonna do? I didn't understand. Gonna do? If it's not Sean's. Fuck. If it is, with the shock wearing off, the scope of the situation began to take hold. I responded, I better get a test. She looked at me with pity. Damn, girl, good luck. After what he did to Chris, I wouldn't want to be in your shoes. The desire that was in her eyes before I got sick was all but gone. As I began to stand, I realized what she said to me, and I paused. She looked at me flatly and said, ain't nobody stupid, girl. I didn't know what to say. The question still lingered in my mind despite everything I knew. Did Puffy intentionally kill Chris? She brought me back to the moment by saying, go. Not knowing what else to say, but knowing I had to deal with my situation right now, I replied, I'll hit you up. She sighed and simply repeated, good luck. Alright, so that was chapters 12, 13, 14, and 15. Alright guys, I will finish up the last chapters tomorrow, 16, 17, 18, and 19, and we will be finished. And hopefully we'll be able to have a discussion about this when I'm done. You guys have a wonderful night, and I will talk to you later. Bye.